Hello and welcome to another Considered Normal video. My name is Matthew, and 9 years ago I posted my first YouTube video on how to easily transfer email from one account to another using an email client called EMClient. Now this email application has changed over the last decade, and I wanted to update the video because there has been some requests to explain how to use it using the new interface. And along the way, I thought I'd do another application as well called Thunderbird, which is a very popular email client as well, which is completely free and open source. But I wanted to start off with EMClient again, one as an update, and two because I find it more user-friendly to use. So, let's get into it. So if you hop on over to emclient.com, you'll be presented with a download button. The free version allows you to use only 2 email addresses, which is perfect because we're going to use this application to transfer from one account to another, so we don't really need to have more than those 2 email addresses. So let's download it, put it into our download folder, and once it's done downloading, we'll click to open it. Click on Agree, and start the installation. If a window like this pops up, it's because you use your access control. Just click on Yes, and it'll complete the application installation. So we don't need to worry about this page here. It opened up in our browser. We're just going to close that, and we're going to finish our installation. So set up the email client as default application, run on Windows Startup. I'm not going to click this because I'm not going to be using this application. If you prefer applications to run on Windows Startup, you can leave this there. Just as a tech point sort of thing, the more applications you start up with Windows, the more RAM it uses. So I just basically launch these when you want to. I'm going to click that off. So launch EMClient is going to stay clicked on, and let's finish. This should bring up the actual EMClient software, and it went to a different window. Let's bring it back over here. And this is where you can select your different themes that you want. I prefer the dark theme. Others prefer light. Modern is, I think, it changes with your Windows. So I'm going to select dark. And I'm not going to import anything. If you do have other applications installed, it may ask you to import from them. But this is going to be a 1-to-1 ratio from web emails. Or web emails to another email account that's non-web email in this case, or actually from a non-web mail to an email account, a webmail. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so we're going to skip the import, and we're going to do the automatic setup for this. So I'm going to put in the account that I'm going to be going from. It doesn't really matter which order you put them in, they're both going to be in there, but I'm just going to basically start from the one that I'm going from, and then I'm going to put in the one that I'm going to. So I'm going to go for a demo account that I create at my website. It's going to scan it. I'm going to put in my password. And it says that my mail server requires authentication. Do the same thing for the rest of recovery and say yes, I want to send my credentials. Give it a few moments to discover. Alright, so the next process, it basically looks in your account. It says that there's some additional information that it wants. So you can put in your full name. In my case, that's my full name. Encryption. I don't want to have encryption for this. But it's interesting to see that now, in 2023, allows you to create a PGP key pair, which is quite interesting. I may do a video on that later on. Account avatar can be that avatar. Sure. And click Finished. Alright, and now you'll see on the side here that all inboxes, I have a bunch of emails, including one from the EMClient, a test message, and a few test emails that I sent previously. Okay, so let's create not a new email, no. I want to add a new account. So under Menu, go to Accounts, and we're going to add an account. And we're going to use the same email address I used 9 years ago. I still have it. I still use it as a demo. Okay, so account details. I still don't want to encrypt. That is my avatar for that account. You can import your contacts and your calendars as well if you wanted to. For this, I'm not going to do that. So it'll ask you to authenticate. You may have to put in your account password for this. I've already logged into my browser with this before, so I don't have to. And open up back EM client. And there we go. I now have, that was a little bit loud. Save and close. Now we're going to be going, I'll show it back and forth to see capability. So the first thing we're going to be doing is going to be transferring from my demo account into my Lost Note account. Okay? So you'll see here that I have 3 email addresses, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 email addresses here. The best and easiest way to copy them over is pretty much to highlight them all. You can either click the first, shift the last one, or you can do a Control A, and that'll highlight them all. And then you can basically just click and drag them into the inbox on the account that you're moving to. So like I said, I'm moving from demo over to Lost Node, and I drop them there. Give it a few moments to sync. You'll see that demo no longer has any messages, and Lost Node Gmail now has all the rest of those messages. When it only had 2 before, now it should have 10. Okay. Now the reason why I wanted to move back is I didn't have any folders here. I just had the inbox, and that's it, and the trash. Although there was a demo folder in the trash. Is there a way to empty trash? I had done some tests earlier, and that's what had happened. So, okay, so in here, I can go more. I can see there's a demo folder, and there's a few emails in there. Nothing important, and there's a test folder. So if I was going to move from a webmail service to an email address with my provider, Rogers, Bell, AT&T, Starlink, whoever you're with, right? You may want to move your emails from your web email address back to one of those accounts. And same thing, I can just do a Control A, and I can move them back into the inbox of my demo account. Give it a few moments to sync. You'll see here that it's syncing up with the actual Gmail server, and now all the emails are here. There's nothing here in my Lost Note account. Now I can also move my folders. I'm going to take this, and it's considered. Are you sure you want to move the folder demo and all of its contents to the location of demo? Say yes. And I can do that again with the test folder. And say yes. You can also click Don't Ask Me Again. And now you'll see that those demo folders are here in my demo account. And again, I can move all of that back if I wanted to. And move each folder individually. Unfortunately, you can't select both folders. You can only do it one at a time. And you'll see they're back in this account. Now, if you want to verify that all that information is there, I can quickly hop into my Gmail account here. And you'll see that all that information is here. These are all the test emails. And I have my demo folder labels, which has 2, and my test folder labels, which has it. And that's pretty much it. So that's EM client, more up to date now. I do like the new interface. It's a little bit cleaner. It does have the dark, which is nice. And it's just to me, very user-friendly on how to set it up. So I'm going to reset this. I'm going to take a few of these emails. And put them back. Actually, it was that many. And put them back into demo. I'm just going to make sure that these have been read. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at EM client, let's take a look at Thunderbird. So go to thunderbird.net/en-us. Even just thunderbird.net will get you there. Right? Again, it'll prevent you with a free download. Present you with a free download button. Again, we're going to take that, put into our downloads folder. If this pops up, you don't need to worry about it. After, like I said, it's a free open source. If you do want to help out the project, feel free to donate to them. They are a wonderful project. Thunderbird has been probably one of the most popular email clients on Linux. It's also on Windows and Mac, where I think EM is just Windows. So if you're running a Mac, Linux, or Windows, Thunderbird might be a great option for you. So let's go ahead and install it. Again, I just want to say yes to that for the security. Hit next. Standard is fine. It'll ask you where you want to install it. And then once complete, you want to launch. So this is the default interface for Thunderbird. Again, it's the dark colors right away. It didn't ask me what theme I wanted to have. It went directly to what my Windows is set to. Now, to add a new account, it doesn't ask you automatically for one, or it may or may not. I don't remember. I don't believe it did when I installed it. It may have. I had installed before, so some of those settings may have kept. But you want to go under Settings. Down at the bottom corner is a little gear icon. Click on Account Settings. And under Account Actions, you want to add a mail account. So for here, again, I'm going to start with the demo account. Again, it doesn't really matter which order you put them in. And then continue. It's going to try and look up the settings once again. However, I know the settings for my server and it doesn't pick up the right settings. I use TLS for my server and it comes up and doesn't do what I want it to. So you'll see here that outgoing is not encrypted and I do want it to be. So I'm going to go configure manually, and as you can see, it automatically did IMAP and SMTP, but I know my own server and it's actually mail. And I want this to be SLS TLS, and this is SLS TLS, and I can say retest, and it should come back being fully green. Now it's going to check my password. Now at this point here, I don't need to do anything with the calendars or anything. I just want it to be the simple interface. I just want the mail. I'm not going to be transferring anything else. I just want to be transferring the mail. So you can see here I have my test image, my welcome to. I want to put the date the other way. I'm used to having my emails at the top. So you can see the welcome to EM client I did from before and a bunch of these test messages that we have. Again, this was from EM client when I sent it. These are the original test messages I had. So we want to add another account now. We want to add our secondary account. Go back down to the little gear icon, account settings, add an email account. And now I'm going to do my Gmail one. It automatically detects, knows what settings to use, which is really great. Okay, so normally at this point here, it does ask you to authenticate with Gmail services. I guess because I already had the pop-up didn't happen. There's really a pop-up here that asks you to log in and allow Thunderbird to access the system. Go finish. And there I have my inbox and my demo folders, which have some test emails in them. So again, as with before, you can do a Control A to get all your messages. Click and drag into the inbox of the account you want to move it to. You'll see down here that it was copying. It's now done. And all those messages are now in the email box here. I'm going to go back to the date at the top. And then, of course, if I wanted to move them from the webmail back to my demo account, I can. And I can also move the folders. Now, the difference between EM Client and this particular application, Thunderbird, is you'll see it leaves a copy on the server when you copy the folders over. You can just delete these if you wish to. And to make sure that email account is completely clean, there's nothing in there. Right? And they're still here on this server. Okay? Now I can go back into Gmail again here. Oh, you'll see a test email came in. Interesting. So you'll see there's nothing in the inbox, and these have gone into the trash, which is interesting. So let me go back to Thunderbird here. I had deleted these. Delete. Delete. Is not allowed. Okay, now they're gone. I just had to actually delete them from the actual application itself. So now if I go back into here and I refresh, they should be gone. Let me just quickly close the application, reopen the application. For some reason they're still there. But rest assured, they are actually gone. You'll see there are no more labels here. I can create a new label. And now if I go back to here, trying to see if there's a refresh here. That is a limitation. As I had said earlier, this is not as intuitive as EM Client. It is a great application, but it's just not as great as I was expecting it to be. Not allowed. But I bet you anything, if I go under Accounts, Account Settings, I take this one here, and I say Remove Account. And I go Account Actions, and I go Add an Account. Give it a few seconds to actually connect. Well, the other one's gone, and now I have my test label. So it's not, like I said, it's not as intuitive. It doesn't refresh as nicely as the other one does. I can take these here and I can put them back now And you will see in my Gmail here, if I refresh, I don't know why it's coming up as Gmail test label. Oh, because it's in Gmail. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to take it out and put it down here. And it's actually in test label. So let's take it out of test label and just put it into this here. Okay. And you'll see that it has the emails in it, but I still don't have anything in the inbox. So I can go back into here, and that's a new one for some reason. Then I can go Control A and move these all back into my last node. You'll see here it's copying message 6 of 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. They'll disappear, and they will show up back in your Gmail. So as I said, there are some limitations. With Thunderbird, it's a little bit finicky. Don't find it as intuitive as EM Client. So if I go back here and I go into EM Client to compare them, you'll see again there's nothing in demo. It's all in the inbox. And you'll see here that there is demo folders that they just stay behind because of the stuff we did in Thunderbird. So I like the layout of EM Client. Thunderbird is, there's calendar over here, a couple of events and things like that. It does use the above look by default. I'm pretty sure you might be able to change that. I didn't go too far into it because I don't usually use email clients. But all in all, I would say for ease of use and intuitiveness, EM Client for the use of moving emails from one to the other, 9, 10 out of 10. Thunderbird, 8 out of 10. It's not so bad. It's pretty easy to use, but like I said, it copies the folder instead of moves them. And then if you delete them, it doesn't really refresh properly. So I would probably still use EM Client as the particular application I'd use. But the reason why I wanted to include Thunderbird is Thunderbird does support Mac and Linux. So if you're on either of those two platforms, Thunderbird is probably going to be your go-to application for it. But if you're on Windows, I'd highly recommend EM Client. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.